house. We're here at home. We are actually the oldest theatre school in Hollywood. Although we're fiercely modern, we're very passionate about the cutting edge courses that we have to offer. We have all the usual courses like voice, acting and movement, but we also have motion capture. We're very big on, we just our first play that we did on virtual reality, which was forced upon us during the pandemic, but it was groundbreaking. And we also offer voiceover and lots of cool things like that, including stand-up, which we will be talking about later on. But to start off with, we thought we'd just show you a little sizzle reel about what life is like when we're actually on campus. Thanks, Reese. Or maybe we won't. Oh, here it is. There we go. There we go. Well, you've got a nice look at our facilities there, which we haven't been able to use since the pandemic, but I look forward to getting back in there again. Another thing that we like to feature a lot, you might have seen one or two famous faces there, like Ray Seahorn from Better Call Saul, Alexis Martin Woodall, who is the president of Ryan Murphy Productions, Blanca Lister, who is the head of productions at Henson Pictures. We're very lucky with the geography of where we are in Los Angeles, that we can invite these people to come in and talk to us at the Theatre of Arts. And we've been very, very fortunate during the pandemic that everybody has been coming in and talking to us on Zoom, as we're all used to now. And we've had an incredible guest list in the last 9 months. And we're very fortunate that people have been sharing their time with us at the Theatre of Arts. Again, that's all to do with the geography of where we are and the faculty all working within the industry. They know these people and they bring them in. If at any time you want to go to our website, it's toa.edu. We'll bring up the website and we can show you a little bit about what we have to offer here at the Theatre of Arts. There we are. We are, like I said, we are the oldest theatre school in Los Angeles. It's been going since 1927. So a centenary coming up in a few years' time. As you can see, that some of the alumni that we've had here, Marilyn Monroe and James Dean, Clint Eastwood, at least he's still alive, so Gregory Peck, Anthony Quinn. The reason the theatre school was set up in the first place, it was at the end of the silent era. And we decided, or not me, I wasn't around then, believe it or not, they decided that people needed to talk in the movies as well. So they had to train the actors. And one of the most famous teachers just after that period was Michael Chekhov, who you may have heard of. He is actually related to Anton Chekhov, and he trained under Konstantin Stanislavski. And he came over and he ran the Theatre of Arts and actually had my job for quite a while, and really gave us a great reputation, which is why when you walk along the Walk of Fame, we have the record for the amount of stars on the Walk of Fame for a theatre school and Oscars. And now we're in the 21st century, of course, or believe it or not. The courses we offer now a little bit different from what Michael Checker was offering. Of course, we have the acting courses. And we'd go 1, 2, 3, and 4. We think it's very important that you have that. It's a 2-year conservatory, I should say, 6 semesters. The other courses that we offer is lots of on-camera classes, and we'll be going over that later on with one of our faculty. Improv, script analysis, stage combat. One of our faculty is here today to talk a little bit about. He's going to be talking more about motion capture, but he does teach stage combat as well and stand up. And I'll be talking about that later on as well, because I am the guy that teaches stand up. Anyway, enough from me. Let's. I've been talking about this gentleman for a couple of times. Henry Layton actually is our motion capture teacher, and he's going to show us a little bit about what he teaches in the motion capture class.
Hey guys, I'm Henry. Before we get started, Reese, I think you have a little sizzle reel we can show somebody about what we do with the motion capture at TOA. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Reese. So yes, my name is Henry Layton. I'm the stage combat instructor and the motion capture instructor at Theater of Arts in Hollywood. Just a little bit about myself. I've been doing motion capture for about 19 years now internationally. I started in Sweden with Universal Studios. We started with Chronicles of Riddick. And that's what we started doing the motion capture for the video game and the film there. Here's some of the footage you'll see of us doing some of the work at that. And that's one of the great things about motion capture. If you can believe this or not, I actually was Vin Diesel in that game, along with a bunch of other creatures and aliens. And then at that studio you see right there, that's in New York. We moved from Sweden to New York, which is now known as Rockstar Video Games. And we did things like Saints Row and The Punisher. And then I moved out to LA because a lot of the motion capture industry switched to the West Coast at that time. I've worked with Sony, I've worked with Disney. I actually did Steven Spielberg's TV show called Falling Skies, where I played the aliens for that. So what I've done is all that work that we've done over the years, I've brought it to TOA. And so we teach several different parts to motion capture. We teach both optical and telemetry motion capture. Now, optical motion capture is what you've traditionally seen, where you're surrounded by all the cameras. Telemetry motion capture is what makes things very easy for us. We're pretty excited about it. There's my director hitting me. He had fun with that. With telemetry, you don't have to have all the cameras. The technology is built into the motion capture suits. Now, we've enhanced all of that technology, as you'll see. So with that, we teach in-game and cutscenes. Now, in-game, that's where we're actually doing all the walks, the turns, and the runs. And I teach you how to do your walks, that you have to hit these marks in character. So you walk with weight, a certain distance and speed when you do that. Excuse me. And then we move to cutscenes, and that's a lot more fun for the actors. That's where we have more liberties as actors to make physical acting choices. And that's a lot of what motion capture is. You can't just be very intimate with your face all the time. You have to, the cameras capture every single inch of your body. So with that, you'll see in this video here where we're in the studio and the students are doing walks with all the weapons and all the props, and they're in the suits, and this is happening in real time. It's not something we're necessarily doing after the fact or editing. When you're in the studio and you're with us in the suits in the class, you'll be playing one of the over 600 characters that we have to choose from, depending on what scene work we're doing. And if you'll see here, I think, Reese, if you could go to, I think the 1 minute and 20 second mark, I believe, you'll see what's called your raw data. So when you're in that character, there it is right here, you'll see that we have what's sort of a connect the dots skeleton. And now, once you're in that, we animate the character on top of you. And you'll see the sort of the marshmallow skeleton in the center there. And that's sort of our template that we use to put the animated characters on top of your body. Now, once we get that data, we have to do what's called cleaning up the data. And we have a gentleman named Big Dave Matty, and you can see this here, how he takes that skeleton and whatever character you're in, there is the big guy right there, and he cleans up the data. So when you have your final product, you can actually have good data that you can show to people. And I think good, yes, right here, you'll see our final output, our final product, where we put you actually inside of a video game. And I'll just let this play for a second. I might talk a little bit over it. Thank you, Reese.
And action.
And as you can see, the actor in the top left is moving in real time with this character right inside the video game that we've created as one of our environments. We have countless numbers of environments we can use with motion capture and VR, which I'll talk to you a little about here in a second. And the reason we want to do this is the whole purpose. Once you leave Theater of Arts, we want to let you have this footage. So if you have a motion capture audition, or you're going to at least apply to get a job in motion capture, you can send this to them and say, I already know how to do this. And that moves you straight to the top of the list with all the other competitive actors that are out there trying to get that same job that you're trying to get. And that's what it's about. It's about not just getting one job in motion capture. We want you to get job after job after job after job. Let's see, as far as that, now, there's several different parts to motion capture. One of the things of motion capture is something called PCAP, or performance capture. And we have actually a faculty member here. His name's Alex Feldman. I call him the hardest working actor in Los Angeles, because you've seen him in all TV shows, you've seen him in all the movies, and he's so good at what he does. He's actually gotten work doing performance capture for a video game. And Alex, if you don't mind, could you just speak to us a little bit about your experience doing performance capture?
Hey everybody, I'm Alex. Thanks, Henry. Yes, about a year ago, I worked on a video game called Call of Duty, and there were a lot of scenes in which I had to wear the suit, the motion capture suit, and interact with other actors. And one of the things I found really challenging but interesting was working on a set where there's nothing really around you, and you have to use your sense of imagination to create a whole world around you. And sometimes, as you see there in that picture, you have these cameras in front of your head, so there's quite a lot of technical elements involved that can kind of distract you, and you're not always with the other actor even. So the kind of training the Theater of Arts provides kind of grounds the theater performance together with the understanding of how the technical elements work here. And if you can grasp both of those elements, you can be a hireable actor in performance capture. And usually it was my experience that usually they like to hire stunt guys, but if you are a real actor who also knows something about stunts, something about stage combat and motion capture, then you are very valuable there. So I was very grateful to have Henry's advice and have exposure to this before I got the job. So thank you for that, Henry.
Oh, thank you, Alex. And he's exactly right. You know, I have a degree in dancing. My MFA is in acting, but my entire time in undergrad, I was going to stunt school during the summers to get my training in stunts and combat. And so what the motion capture industry has finally discovered over the years is that they don't just need stunt people, they need versatile actors, people who can do the voice, who can do the physical acting choices, and do honest, truthful acting intention within those characters. One of the things that's kind of interesting is we have a student that's going to be graduating soon. His name's Alex Caron. He just got an internship at Jim Henson Studios. I actually worked for Jim Henson Studios. They're actually who brought me out to Los Angeles. And one of the projects we were working on was the test shoots. I was the motion capture director for the test shoots for a movie called The Jungle Book. Now, after that, they made a poor decision, went with some guy named Jon Favreau to direct the movie. Who knows why? Obviously, I'm kidding. Of course, I'd go with Jon over myself as well. But now that Alex is in there, Disney owns Jim Henson. So now Alex is going to be exposed to not just Jim Henson, but all the people at Disney, because they still shoot motion capture at the Jim Henson Studios. And we're just very excited for him. He's already gone through the combat classes. He's already gone through the motion capture classes. And it's just the endless opportunities for him now. Now, I can't take credit for that. He went out and got that on his own. So please don't think I'm trying to say that I set him up with that opportunity. But he took everything he learned from TOA and made that happen. Now, I need to talk to you about virtual reality for a quick second. We just did a play called Papa Tango Sierra Delta. Now, virtual reality, a lot of people are doing Zoom plays and they're calling that a virtual play, and it is, but they can't truly call it a virtual reality. And we were the first people on earth to actually put on a live play using virtual reality. And Reese, I think you've got a little teaser trailer or that you can show for that. Is that able to be done right now, Reese? Oh, awesome. And what's great about this, go ahead, I'll let this play.
When the battle's over, the nightmares won't stop. There's the program.
Thank you, Reese. That's awesome. So yes, that was a play that we wrote and directed. When I say we, I mean me and a guy named Big Dave, David Matty. You've seen him in all kind of movies as well, and he's just a very talented writer, very talented director and stunt performer. So we put that play together just by sort of necessity, because David Conolly, we've got to give David Conolly credit on this. He's really had the vision to push technology and where this industry is headed, especially after what we've all experienced with the COVID-19 and the lockdowns and that sort of thing. So we did that play, and what we discovered with virtual reality is that the capabilities are infinite. For example, Reese, if you could show that other little video I have, and I'm going to talk over that. I'm going to show you a little demonstration of what some of the things we did as we were directing with the actor that was in the virtual reality in his apartment while we were all in our own homes as well. And we used green screen as well. Now, if you pay close attention, you'll see the actor on camera, but you also see the actor's avatar in real time while he's in the head. What we've discovered now is that we now have the capabilities to incorporate virtual reality with motion capture. So you can have any body that you want with your actual face from your avatar. And Reese, can you rewind it real quick and get ready to pause? I want to show people something for a second. Pause right there. Or rewind just 2 seconds if you don't mind, buddy. Thanks for being the DJ, Reese. Up there, you'll see both actors. One is live on a green screen. The other is live in front of a black screen in their homes while we're in the VR headset to make this play happen. And that's how we were able to accomplish those things, by doing a play live without having to do a Zoom meeting where it's just all these windows like we're in right now. So we're actually putting a course together as we speak that hopefully will be out in January, where we'll actually be able to take the VR class along with with the motion capture classes as well. And that's being put into the curriculum as we speak. And Reese, you'll pause here. If you pause right there. Right there, I want you to know we're not actually using iPads or any kind of Android tablet. That's actually part of the virtual reality world. So inside the virtual reality world, we can look back in reverse at the real world in live time, which is just phenomenal technology. And we're having so much fun with it. It just means we could put you on Mars that quick, or we could put you underwater swimming with the sharks that quick. So that's the VR part of the department that we're really excited about at Theater of Arts. So we've talked about motion capture and how to do things like that. And then we've talked about performance capture. And I always get the question, what is the easiest way, Henry? I get it every week. What's the easiest way? What is the fastest way I can get into motion capture? And thank you for that video, Reese. You can go ahead and take that away if you don't mind. They asked me, what is the fastest way I can get into motion capture? And I go, the easiest and fastest is through voiceover. That is the quickest way to get you into the industry doing video games. And voiceover is it's bigger than video games. It's TVs, it's movies. And we actually have someone with us here, Rachel. Rachel's another faculty member at Theater of Arts, and she teaches voiceover. And just to give you just a clue of who you're about to hear from, if you've ever played a game, little project that she worked on called Call of Duty, she's not just a person who's worked once and this is, I'm a voiceover actor for video games. Rachel is a staple in the Call of Duty franchise. Every time they make a game, they're calling Rachel. Every time there's a call sheet, Rachel's name is on the list. That's how good Rachel is at what she does. And if you don't mind, Rachel, are you here? I'd love to turn this over to you, if that's okay.
I sure am.
Thank you so much for being here, Rachel. Guys, this is Rachel. She's amazing, and I can't wait to hear from you, Rachel. Thank you so much.
I am super, super excited. It's a joy to be here. I want to jump off of some of what Henry was saying, because motion capture and performance capture has been such a significant part of my transition into being essentially a full-time voice actor, that it is one symptom of the best part of being a voice actor, which is voice acting is the most diverse and most accepting category and part of the acting industry, the end. We need more ages, we need more sizes, we need more diversity, we need more accents, we need more backgrounds, we need more stories. In this corner of the industry, there is more room for you exactly as you are than any place else. And what you need is to be a great actor, so you can bring all of that story of who you are and how you are right to the front, because that's what we need, and that's what we want to see. Can you guys see me? My view looks a little funny. I want to make sure that I'm not hiding behind a name.
I can see you.
Okay, great. All right. So what I want to talk about is what we cover at TOA. I want to give you a foundation and a basis in all of the magic that voiceover is, because what do you think of when you think of voiceover? A lot of people think of cartoons, which I love. As Henry pointed out, video games, which I super love. Maybe you think of TV and radio commercials, which are great. But have you ever walked through a building and heard somebody talking to you? Have you ever gone to an airport and heard somebody talking to you? Did you ever buy a course online and hear somebody talking to you? Have you ever downloaded a book on Audible and had somebody talk to you? How about, are you listening to one of the amazing storytelling podcasts that have proliferated during this crisis? Those are all voice actors. There is something for you exactly as you are, exactly who you are, if you hone your skills as an actor and bring everything you have to bear. At the beginning of our class, we spend the first part of our class covering commercial, because in commercial, they need everybody. They need every person, every category that you are, there is something for you in there. And there are opportunities right away, starting in commercial. So we get down to the business of commercial. And how do you become a truly great actor in only 15 seconds, where you can tell a beginning, middle, and end of a story, where you understand who you're talking to, what you want them to know, and you can get that in as cleanly and efficiently as possible. Does that sound like a skill that can translate to the entire rest of your acting career? I certainly hope so, because it is. Then we jump into animation, which is it's just a fun job. It is a really good time. Reese, can you throw up a little bit of Wonder Woman here for a second? I worked on a show called Justice League Action as Wonder Woman, and
can we just skip to the part where I thrashed you all? I'm gonna take that as a no. In a world of ordinary men, I am Wonder Woman. I kind of like that. No kidding. When we heard there was a break-in at the watchtower, who expected the invaders to be toys? Clearing the path. Be there soon. I heard you could use some pest control. You'll have to get through the Justice League.
I accept your challenge.
I mean, I think we get the idea. So the joy of working on an animated project like that, and to be clear, as my dream job, that was my dream character from the time that I was 3 years old and a little girl dressing up in my Wonder Woman underoos in the backyard. That was all I ever wanted to do. And I got the chance to actually do it for a job. But I also got the chance to work with actors that I have admired my entire life. And I got to learn from how they work. I got to stand in a room and watch Sean Astin, who I've watched since Goonies, work and work and work a scene until he was happy. The director was done. And he was like, no, I got something else. Because he had a lifetime of acting experience of knowing himself and knowing what he had to offer till he knew he gave his best performance. That taught me to be an empowered actor and to fight for the choices that I wanted. I got to watch Mark Hamill hide behind a microphone, praying nobody could see him while he turned in the most extraordinary performance I have ever seen live, and then sit back and say, oh, thank God nobody can see me because I just look like a crazy person. And I thought, if you, after your entire life and career, feel that self-consciousness from time to time when you're working, how much does that take the pressure off of me when I feel self-conscious from time to time? And it gave me permission to say, oh, I'm okay wherever I am in my career. And I'm going to bring those kind of experiences to you, to share with you that who you are and how you are as an actor and as a performer and what your story is valuable. And we're going to bring all that to bear. And then we're also going to figure out how to craft an interesting voice and how to build a great sound that's unique to your body and how to build a dynamic performance when all it says on the page is, she jumps. Well, now what are you going to do? How are you going to fill that space out? Because all of a sudden, I've got to create a world with my voice that you're going to see. And I got to do it all with my imagination. And that is where it comes back to what Henry was talking about. And what Alex was talking about, when you can bring your full imagination to bear, suddenly this acting is just acting, but I can find new places to put it. And so following animation, we're going to get into the category in voiceover, we call it interactive. And that refers to a broad category of video games. So I've been lucky enough to be in the last 6, I think, Call of Duty games. And I was fortunate enough to have the actor dream where I got to play a character who looked like me and even had my own name in Call of Duty Black Ops. Reese, can you throw up just a quick minute of that one?
What the hell? Who's shooting?
You guys okay back there?
Agent Kane? I thought I told you to stay up top.
Seemed like you could use some help. Besides, you two made so much noise, every 54i foot soldier's gonna be scrambling to respond. We need to get back on track. We've got to shut down their comms before they figure out what the fuck's going on. Follow me.
After you.
I'm not gonna lie, it was a pretty good time bossing those guys around for a couple of months. What I want to tell you about that experience is everything about me as an actor that had been used as a negative at some point in my career. You're too tall, you're too strong, your forehead moves too much, you got muscles in your neck, your voice is too deep. Every single one of those is the reason they hired me on that game. There is a place for you as an actor because of who you are. And in this world of voiceover, because you are assisted by animators, because you are assisted by developers and creators in games, because you are bringing your story of voice to the images in commercials or narrating shows or telling these beautiful stories in books, because of who you are, you can bring all that you are to bear, and anything that is sometimes a negative here is a positive. Because we need all of those things. We're also going to talk about anime, about MMORPGs, about card game style games. I've been lucky enough to work on all of those, and I've got friends who've worked in any category I haven't worked in. My husband is also a voice actor, so when in doubt, I've got at least one other person just down the hallway to answer some questions for me and bring a little bit of extra weight. In fact, Henry, I don't think I've told you this, you actually stunt coordinated on the order that my husband was one of the leads on. So look at that.
I'm sorry, cool? That's awesome. I didn't know that. Yeah.
I love it. I realized it the other day. I was like, the TOA world is small and beautiful. So we start in commercials, we move into animation, we work on building voices and skills, we work on interactive. And how do you apply that skill now when your job is not just to tell the story, but to get somebody else to tell the story with you, right? Interactive is what games are about, right? It's not about putting a story on a player, it's about helping the person at home tell a story with you, okay? Then we cover promos, narration. Promo is, have you guys ever heard this? In a world. Coming up next Tuesday, All new on Nick. These are all things that fall into the category of promo. You barely notice them anymore when you're watching programs because they're so ingrained into the way that we consume our entertainment that they just take us where they need us to go. But that's somebody's job. And we're going to talk about how that works. And we're going to talk about how to use the techniques of that system to really make you and who you are shine. Okay, narration. If you're like me and you grew up watching nature documentaries, that's all I've ever wanted to do. And we're going to talk about narrating shows where we're featuring the image, right? Like a nature documentary or maybe even a true crime story. And we'll also talk about narrating audiobooks, which is a really interesting portion of the voiceover career because the industry standard is self-starter, working from home, no agent, doing your own gig. That's the industry standard. So the setup you have right now puts you right on par with most people doing that work already. And we're going to talk about how, if that's something you're interested in, you can begin to use that as an opportunity to continue building your acting skills and to maybe even start working as soon as you want to. Okay. We also spend a chunk of class talking about what I call gear, career, and mic technique. Because there's a fear sometimes with a technical side of acting like this that you need a lot of really expensive gear to get started, and you don't. I'm going to show you how you can build a studio in whatever space you're in for free or very little money. I will help point you in the direction of what materials and mics and things like that you can use at multiple price points wherever you are, including just using the phone you already have, to be able to begin towing the waters in this side of work and to certainly begin expanding your skills and your talents to begin to bring more of what you have to bear in this work. Because money should not be an obstacle to starting your work and sharing your artistry with the world. So I'm going to give you ways and tools that you can do this for very little. And because the world is all on Zoom right now, I'm going to show you materials that will also apply to self-tape auditions that you'll be sending when you want to work on camera. And if you're that self-starter actor who's shooting your own short films perhaps, or writing your own plays that you want to distribute these, I will help you find the materials that will apply to all of those things. So it's all a part of pushing your acting work forward. And then we'll talk specifically about the techniques that are involved in how do I get a performance into a microphone? Because that's where technique really comes to bear. We can, as a coach told me once, nobody can hear your eyebrow, Rachel. And thank God for performance capture, because in performance capture, my eyebrow is valuable. But behind the microphone, nobody can hear it. So how do you turn all of these great acting juices and impulses and ideas and imagination, how do you turn that into something that somebody can hear? And that's what we'll work on when we work on mic technique. We touch on all of these things. Voiceover is the only corner of the industry that not only didn't slow down during the pandemic, but picked up. There are on-camera shows that shifted to a special animated season. There are all kinds of new things that have begun, including, like I said, storytelling podcasts and things. So this is a place where you can begin to discover who you are as an artist that maybe you never considered. But we're going to explore it together, and we're going to help you build on the skills as an actor that you've discovered, that you've worked on in theater and on camera and in your stunt world. And we're going to bring all that to bear. So this is one more place that you can start to bring your artistry forward, and you can be the actor that you've always wanted to be. And that's what it's all about in training at TOA, is discovering where your skills are and bringing more to life. And there's all kinds of places for that, like David's going to tell you about next.
Thanks, Rachel. Really appreciate that. Okay, I just want to, our faculty are amazing here. I just want to touch over a couple of things that are going on because we are online at the moment. I should make that clear. We're a 2-year conservatory. We have 6 semesters. I saw in the chat someone asked the questions going, when do these semesters start? We have 3 intakes. We have January, we have May, and we have September. It is a full-time course, so you have to be ready for that. We're accredited by NAST in North America. We also have a partnership with Aura in London, and they also have a campus in Manchester, but you will be studying here, and then in the future we'll be working on that partnership. For those of you who are concerned about if you live in another part of the country or another part of the world, we also have a partnership with United Airlines. So we can fly you over a little bit cheaper than it would normally cost. We have reductions with our partnership there. As we're online, I mean, it really has forced us to really with the technology. So we have another partnership with Apple. So when you were there you go. So when you're at TOA, I mean, everything is online at the moment, and it's going to be, we got informed by the governor of California about 10 days ago that because of COVID, that we will have to be online for the next semester as well from January. We're getting information that we should be okay to be back in person in May. But you know what? We are learning a lot through technology. We're also learning from all the guests that we're bringing in, like the agents and the casting directors, that the industry is changing. The casting directors will probably not return to the casting suites and pay rent. They're probably going to be doing it on Zoom. These are some of the people that have been coming in and talking to us. Roger Nygaard is actually a producer and it looks like he's a comedian, but he's actually a producer and editor of Curb Your Enthusiasm. Stephen Moyer, you might know from True Blood. And we're very lucky, like I said, that these people do come in and share their skills and life stories with us. I also wanted to touch on something that came up about internships that Henry mentioned, that we are now offering internships at the Jim Henson Studios. There's going to be 2 internships for recent alumni, for graduates, and we're going to be offering the same at Universal Pictures. That's because of our board members. One is an executive at Universal Pictures, and one is the head of production at Jim Henson Pictures, and they have basically they have internships at these studios, and they said the 2 per year. That Blanca Lista, you can see that 2 per year are going to be held back purely for TOA graduates. So we're very excited about that. And as we continue this, I should explain that all our faculty, we're not high school teachers, we are actually all actors or directors. And the next gentleman, you've already had a little snippet of him. You've probably seen him in a lot of TV and film. As soon as Hollywood opened up, and I should just say this one more time, it is going to open up again. The TV industry is opening up again. And as our board member from Universal said, she said, we have not been able to make a movie in this last year, but we will be calling you up at TOA at the end of next year and saying, help, I need some actors. We've got so many movies that we have to make right now. The next gentleman actually was in the first TV show that came back after when the restrictions were lifted from COVID. You've seen him on so many TV shows, so many movies, and we're very privileged to have him here at the Theatre of Arts. Alex Feldman. Hopefully he'll show up now. He might be in his trailer. I don't know. Oh, here he is.
Hi, my name is Alex Feldman, and I'm one of the on-camera instructors at Theatre of Arts.
This ends now.
I'm sorry I let you down.
Good afternoon. My name is Louis Allen, and I've been suffering from sleep paralysis for 3 years.
You let anything slip through the cops, your parents are gonna pay.
No! ¿Cómo dices? Estoy muy contento de estar aquí.
But the American accent, I'm very happy to be here. But the Russian accent, I'm very happy to be here.
I will come.
If I understand baseball, maybe I will understand America better.
In on-camera classes, we equip the actors with a knowledge of how to work on the technical elements of on-camera performance, as well as the organic behavior to be captured by the camera. We address how the camera is used on sets and in audition environments, and we try to provide some knowledge for the actors about how to be a good collaborator
with the other departments on sets, the responsibility that the actor might have to the on-camera department, to the electrical department, to the wardrobe department, and how to make sure that the performance is collaborative and not just for the actor's benefit. Hi guys, thank you so much for that intro. That was great. So my name is Alex Feldman, and I teach the on-camera classes at Theater of Arts, and I come up with the different types of curriculum for the on-camera classes with the other instructors at Theater of Arts. As David mentioned in the beginning, Theater of Arts has a really rich history in theater, and that's amazing for our training because it creates a wonderful foundation. But we are in Los Angeles. We're located right in the middle of LA, and there are hundreds of productions going on all around us on any given day. And so our focus in the 2-year program shifts heavily to on-camera performance. And we structure it so that as your educational experience progresses, so does your on-camera training. In the very beginning of the 2-year course, we introduce actors through on-camera fundamentals to what happens on sets, how to be, as I said in that intro, how to be a collaborative actor, understanding what an editor does, what happens in pre-production, so that on set you can provide the material that the editor needs for your performance and understand the different jobs and different departments that exist there. And so in the on-camera fundamentals class, we have the actors go through a variety of exercises and shoot a variety of scenes where they understand how to change and augment and adjust their performance for the camera needs. Different frames, different shots, how to go from very physicalized big actions to more internal mental actions. We actually have a clip from a scene that we shot in class with a couple of students, and even in a basic scene like you're about to see, there are at least 6 different setups and different shots, which I'll name for you as we watch it. And you'll see that even in a small scene like that, an actor gets to experience in a realistic way what's going to happen on set and what is going to be asked of them, how to create a performance by just small little segments that the camera needs and the camera operator needs through a shot list that they've created. So Reese, if you can roll that scene, I just want to give an example of what happens in our introductory classes.
Sushi.
So here you see these 2 actors in a 2-shot, meaning 2 people are in a shot.
Taco.
Sushi.
Taco.
Sushi.
Taco.
Sushi.
And there it cuts to an over-the-shoulder close-up, and look at her going in and out of her light. She's learning how to find her light as an actor, not only to camera, but also how to work with lights.
What I like most about tacos is
Here's another cut to what's called an extreme close-up, which requires discipline of stillness. And there's a very comedic
I like
close-up
sushi.
shot.
All right, it's fresh. It looks amazing when it's served. And sushi.
These actors are working with state-of-the-art equipment. Here's another extreme close-up where stillness is very important. Now we have a few comedic 2 shots. Thank you for that, Reese. So you get the idea that even in a small basic scene like this, there were at least 6 different cuts, and those actors were very much trained in how to deliver a performance and all the different camera angles and different frames that are required to put that together. And you also saw her, as I mentioned, looking for her light. So that tells us that our classes provide state-of-the-art equipment for the students to work with. So an actor should know some basic principles of how equipment works, and we allow for an opportunity for actors to handle cameras and lights and understand what happens on sets. As the education experience progresses, we work on more difficult scenes and really focus on how to bring truthful performances for the camera to capture. We help actors create their own content, and we help actors really understand how to participate in every element of filmmaking. As David mentioned earlier, with the COVID restrictions, a lot of industries have shut down quite a bit, but I'm really proud of the way that our industry, the entertainment industry, has bounced back. We never really skipped a beat. People just adjusted to voiceover and shooting things at home. And I was really pleased to see how our students and our alumni are able to create their own content. In fact, most of our existing students were sent equipment, so they'll have tripods and lights, and they're able to make their own projects and able to do on-camera classes like in this environment via Zoom. So it's been really great to see how the skills that our students have been accumulating over the past couple of years have really come into play in the way that they are reacting to this pandemic and the quarantine, are able to continue to work.
One of our on-camera classes, which is the advanced on-camera class, very quickly shifted focus to focusing on self-tapes, doing auditions at home, which is a really important tool for actors right now. I think Rachel mentioned that having equipment at home really helps with voiceover work, and having some basic principles of understanding how equipment works for auditions is also paramount to succeeding in the current environment having to do with COVID restrictions. So when you graduate from the Theater of Arts 2-year program, as an actor, you have all the knowledge you need to be on set and understand how to behave professionally on set, but also how to collaborate and deliver performance that is required by each individual director with their own individual tastes, with a different tone of each show. So it's exposure like you won't get anywhere else, which is why I'm very proud to teach here at Theater of Arts. So I think there'll be a Q&A at the end of this, and you'll be able to ask some questions. But for now, just to keep things moving, I'll turn it over back to you, David.
Thank you, Alex. Really appreciate it. There's a couple of things that I wanted to discuss. Was that we also have the GI Bill at Theatre of Arts. So if you are ex-military, then you are very welcome here at the Theatre of Arts. We've had a lot of success with that. We also offer the F1 visa for anybody who is outside of the United States. To understand what that is, you basically, we're a 2-year course. You get your F1 visa for 3 years. So that means that it covers you for the 2 years of your training. And then in the 3rd year, you are at liberty to work in the United States as long as you are working within the entertainment industry. Like I say, everything we do here at the Theatre of Arts is to try and help you achieve that. A certain amount of it is going to be up to you, obviously, and how much work you put into it at the other end. Okay, I'd like to now introduce the stand-up teacher at the Theatre of Arts, who happens to be me. I'm actually a professional stand-up. I have been touring the United States and Europe for many years. We had a big success with stand-up here at the Theatre of Arts. I believe we're the only school, certainly in North America, that offers it at a course. The reason that we offer stand-up is that I know for a fact that that's the best way of getting work. Not necessarily stand-up work, but you will be able to get yourself acting work or sometimes writing work, which I believe, Reese, we've got a little bit of a sizzle reel about the stand-up that we've been doing. So maybe we could show that. Graduate in the good old days when we actually could go in person, but we will be doing this again. And if anybody who joins from this, I'm pretty sure that we'll be out again. It is that the day you graduate, you get your degree in the afternoon, and in the evening we go to the Comedy Store on Friday night and we do the Friday night show. For most people, that is the first time they ever get paid for performing, and you will be doing it in front of 250 people. It's a great thing. We had a student called Martha a couple of years ago, and she told me at the start of the course, she goes, "I'm not funny. There's no way I can do this." And I said, "I'm sorry, you're going to have to." I don't know, Reese, if you've got a clip of Martha in the first time that she's fresh. It is Martha Najwa.
I moved here from Uganda about 6 years ago. Thank you. And a lot of people ask me, so what is it like to live in a third world country? Pasadena is not that bad.
What we do is we just work on joke structure. Usually that most people have acted, you've got a head start because you're good at performing. What we have as well, every month at the Theatre of Arts, we put on a comedy show where I invite national headliners. We're very lucky because we're in Los Angeles, the headliners come in and we put on a show, and I hold back 2 spots for alumni to come and perform, and they have to go toe to toe with the headliners. We had a headliner called Samba Shoot who was performing, and that night, and this is how lives can change, NBC casting directors were in the house at our arena stage. And after that night, his life changed forever because they gave him a show at NBC. We've also shot, we've got a little, there we are, Sunnyside, there he is, and Samba's right in the middle. We also, we shot his special at the arena. We shot 3 specials now. Bobby Oliver's special we shot there. We also shot Sally Mullins' special, and there's a documentary about us on Amazon. I say it's about us, it's about a comedian doing the course at Theatre of Arts, and he had a crew following him through the whole experience and how tough he was finding it. He is now so successful, Antonio Scarpa. You can check it out on Amazon. I believe it's called 8 Weeks to 6 Minutes on Amazon. It's a great documentary, and you'll see a lot of Theatre of Arts there. The reason, again, like I say, the reason I put it on the curriculum, okay, A, I'm a comedian, and B, I know it is a way of getting employed. And I think being employed is actually quite important. I don't know if, Rita, if you've got the trailer of the movie that I've just made. You often get asked as a stand-up, like I say, I'm touring all the time, but the question you get asked from agents is like, can you write something, or can you, or can I put you in something? I had a movie made this summer. Purely, my agent said, look, they are looking for a British stand-up to write this movie. Will you do it? I've written a few movies, but that I get asked invariably more about my stand-up than about the previous scripts. Let's just have a look at the movie that's just been shot.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Christmas at Donnock Manor, capital of nowhere.
I've had 27 years of therapy trying to recalibrate Christmas.
All the sisters gathered together. I can remember when you lot used to fight like Spitfires and Messerschmitts.
They don't tell me it doesn't have to be perfect, because it bloody well has to be.
We decorated the Christmas tree with Daddy.
Why don't we just stick this on top of the tree?
That's marriage.
Did you by any chance invite anyone for Christmas?
Is it who I think it is? Your father is finally here this Christmas.
This is my girlfriend, Jackie.
Hi!
Let's show him what he's missed.
For the last 27 years. I'm gonna push this so far down your throat, you'll need a colonoscopy to remove it. Marvelous!
I feel like I've landed in Hogwarts.
I propose a duel. Ho, ho, ho. No!
Will you just shut up? Could we just be a family and have a lovely Christmas?
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Next Christmas. And what was kind of nice about that, when they were shooting the movie, because of COVID, I couldn't get over. So they would be sending through the dailies, and I would actually, in the class, I was teaching comedy, I would actually have to say to the students, okay, here are the dailies. We're trying to work on a joke. And I don't know if you saw, there's a few comedy legends in that movie, like John Cleese and Kelsey Grammer, and just to see how hard they were working to actually work on a joke. And it was kind of nice to share that with the class. All right, we're running out of time, but I want to introduce you to our admissions people here. We've got Jose Hernandez, who put the whole thing together. Reese is not admissions, but he is our production manager here and has been keeping the whole show together. And Juan, Keith, Amanda, Norma. And I think we'll have a question and answer now. And this is your opportunity to ask any questions of us. I can see that some things are actually in the chat, and we will try our best to answer those as best we can and not keep you for the rest of the day. But we really want to help you. And I know that Jose has an announcement to make as well, so I'll let him be the hero of the hour. So Jose, and let's get the instructors back as well, Henry and Alex, if they're around.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us. I'm glad to hear and see that we're having a lot of people from not only here in the United States, but all over the world. I see Canada, I see Europe, I see Asia, Spain. So it's great to see that everybody is here from not just the US, but all over the world. Since you guys took the time, we have a little surprise for you guys. So as long as you guys apply to Theater of Arts by the end of the month, which you have about a week, we are going to waive the application fee. Normally there's a $75 application fee. For you guys taking the time to spend at least an hour with us and listening to all of us. That's one of the things we're going to do, is we're going to waive the.
Did he just go quiet, everybody?
Well, I mean, it is Zoom.
It's Zoom. I'll fill in for him.
Actually, again, there you go.
There we go. He's back. He's back.
Yeah, it just said right now internet connection is unstable. But okay,
he was about to say, you are going to get.
You're going to get the application waived. Keith, if you can, type in the website on the chat so that way they can actually go to the website and apply if they choose to. But you will have that until the end of the month. So until November 30th, if you apply online, we are waiving the application fee. 2, for taking the time to be with us, we are actually offering you a $500 scholarship for each quarter that you are attending. So this is the 6th quarter, so you're looking at about a $3,000 savings. So again, you will need to apply by the end of November 30th and be fully accepted and done with financial aid by the end of the year to get honored all of that information. I mean, you guys have done a remarkable job joining us and seeing everything that all these instructors have been offering. And we really understand what COVID has done, not only for students here in the US, but students all over the world. So we want to do whatever we can to assist you. And this is just one of the small little things that we can do to help you guys out through this situation. So take advantage if this feels like the right school for you. And if this is something you've been thinking about it for a while, don't wait. Just like anything in life, there's normally never a right time. So just take the plunge. I mean, I'm pretty sure most of the people here, they were debating for when to do this, and then finally just took the plunge and said, you know what, gotta follow my dreams. And that's something that has been rewarding. You have to understand, you can always have a job for the rest of your life, but you want a career where it seems rewarding. It brings, when it doesn't feel like you have to wake up at 4 a.m. and drag yourself out of bed, and you're actually gonna get up at 4 a.m. to go do acting, to do comedy, to do all of these great careers that you can get into after you finish the program.
Thanks, Jose. And I also want to introduce Adam Krieger is here, who's actually he's actually multi-talented guy. He works on admissions with us, and he teaches Acting 3, which is mainly Shakespeare, and the one acts, which are always fantastic. And he's done a great job on Zoom this year. We've just had multiple plays, which have just been a very high standard. I'm seeing a lot of questions coming in. We're going to try our best to answer these as they come in. Someone was asking, can you guarantee me work? The truth is, I think if anybody tells you they're going to guarantee you work at the theatre school, do not believe them. No one can guarantee you work, I'm afraid. It's the hardest, let's not mess around it. It is, I think, one of the hardest professions in the world to get work for. But I think it's possibly one of the best professions in the world. I've not been an astronaut, that sounds pretty cool as well. But I think being an actor is one of the best professions in the world. Our job is to try and make you employable. That's what we want. We want to give you that opportunity that when you get through that door, that you're ready. We can try our best to get you there. a lot of it is going to be up to you at the end of the day. You have to put the work in. And I think a lot of students find that tricky because we are a full-time course. We can't mess around with that. We are a 9 to 5 course. We are expecting a lot of you. It's not one of those things, oh, I want to be an actor. And then like, oh God, they make me turn up to 9 o'clock classes. Yeah, sorry about that. We do. And we expect you to be on time. We want you to treat coming to the Theatre of Arts as day one of entering the profession. And if you enter this profession, we hear this every spotlight. I go, what do you want from actors? And they go, number one, turn up. And you'd be amazed how many people, unfortunately, don't get that right. And number two, be nice. When I'm auditioning you, which hopefully I'll be auditioning some of you later on as part of the process, I'm looking for people who are passionate and who can take direction. And the rest of it, we'll take care of. We'll get you there. We'll get you there. There's some questions here about, I'll say again, we're taking admissions for January, May, and September. I can see that question up there, so hopefully answers that one. There was another question about tuition. Who can take the tuition question? Maybe Keith or Juan, or could you answer about tuition? Or
go ahead,
Jose.
Okay, with tuition, sorry, let me bring up the numbers. So tuition is actually $20,196 per academic year, since you're doing it for 2 years. So you can double that. We're looking at about 40,000. For domestic students, we do offer financial aid. As long as you're a permanent resident or U.S. citizen, we do offer financial aid for those that qualify. The good thing is about that you've never done FAFSA before. We have our own financial aid advisor, which is Norma Sullis, that actually will work with you every step of the way, filling out the FAFSA. The government will tell us this is what you qualify. We first go with grants, federal grants and state grants, if you qualify for any. Then we go into federal loans. Now, keep in mind the great benefits about federal loans. One, they're low interest rate. It doesn't matter if you have good credit or bad credit. As long as you use it for school, it's the same interest rate. And the payments don't begin until 6 months after you stop attending school. And the government gives you up to 10 years to pay that off. Now, especially the reason why federal loans are great during this time is because if for whatever reason something like this ever happens again, I hope not, but anything that requires that, it affects the world, they work with you when it comes to your repayments. Some of the students had payment plans, and of course, pandemic hit, the government works with you. Now, unfortunately, grants and federal loans don't always cover the full amount of tuition, and that's when we look into two different options. One could be a federal parent loan, where your parents can apply for a federal loan also, or we can work into monthly payments. Now, as long as it's something feasible, then we will work with you guys. What I mean by that is, let's just say hypothetically your payments are $300 and you come back and say, I can only afford $5. Obviously, we're way off there. But as long as it's something reasonable, we try to work with you guys as best as we can. We understand everything that's going on, so we're really willing to work with you guys as best as this is something that you really want to do. And of course, there are sometimes scholarships available, but that's up to Norma, your financial aid advisor, that will speak to you about your different options if you qualify for any.
I'll just answer a question that's coming in. Thanks, Jose. Questions coming in about, are we an online school? The answer to that is we've been forced to be online because of the pandemic. Because of what's going on, we are online right now. We will be returning to being an in-person school when we can. Right now, I mean, I have to have conversations, believe it or not, with the CDC, with the mayor's office, with the governor's office. The advice that we're getting right now is most likely we will be back in person for the May semester. Hopefully everything will be behind us by then. We were hoping to be online in January. We were hoping to be online last May, but we're in person last May. But we were actually we've just been informed that we have to be online in January. I'm assuming that whole semester is online, that we have the vaccination, we can put this behind us, and then we'll be returning to in-person teaching in May. At that point, our students will have to be in Los Angeles. Someone asked, do you pay for relocation? No, we can't pay for relocation, but what we can do is we can help. You know, we have United Air. If you live in Chicago, then and you want to come over to Los Angeles, well, you'll have to if you're a student. Then United Airlines will be offering you a special deal. Housing is an issue that comes up all the time. We have a deal now with co-living here in Los Angeles, which means that you can get luxury housing at a very cut down price. I know Los Angeles is an expensive city comparatively to a lot of the United States of America. So we are trying our best to help you with that relocation. Okay, any more questions?
Question, David, and for anybody in faculties is, how do you change your voice into the opposite gender?
Somebody else can take that one. Alex, you must have done it.
I wish we still had our voiceover instructor here, but what I can say about that is our voice training is one of the areas we focus on the most. We have really great instructors who will work with you to expand your vocal range, and in your acting classes, you'll definitely be asked to go outside your comfort zone and step outside of what you are normally used to doing. So playing another gender is a unique request as well, indeed, but I do think that the training you'll get at Theater of Arts will get you as close as you possibly can to expanding your instrument to be able to do things that will surprise you.
Thanks, Alex. I'm glad you took that one on. There was a question about whether we could email you the information that's in here. I think Alex and so Keith and Juan are going to be emailing you afterwards, and we'll try and help you out with that. We're not going to inundate you. We're going to give you the information. And like I said, if you were, well, Jose said it, if you apply now, there's no application fee if you attended this, and you will get, if you get in, you will get a $500 reduction in term scholarship if you say that you came to this particular open house. I should say that we cap the classes at 15 per semester. We are a boutique school. We don't like to just like fill the place. We think that's really important, that you get the education that you deserve. So try and get in early. We'll be very honest about your opportunities. The final part of it is you actually have to audition for me. And like I said, I'm looking for two things. I'm looking for passion, and I'm looking for the fact that you can take direction. Okay, any other questions that we have?
I'll take this one. If classes are online, does it matter where I live in, whether you live in California or not?
Absolutely.
For now,
absolutely. Right now we've got people spread all over North America for sure. We've got people in Canada. I'm teaching classes, and people and they're in class, and they look to me like we're all in the same class, but someone's in New York, someone's in Connecticut, someone's in Chicago. They're all over. We've got a guy from Uruguay. I think it does get international students. Yes, you can do it, but be aware of the time zone difference. We work on Pacific time. We had a couple of people start from different countries, and Canada, yes, they made it, but someone from Germany just didn't make it after the first week. He said, "This is too tough. I'm working through the night." So really think very hard about whether you can do that. You do have an advantage as an international student that if you are enrolled during this period, it's going to be a lot easier for you to get your visa when you actually go to the embassy. So there is a certain advantage to that.
I guess this might go towards you, David. I am finding it difficult to work out how my qualifications compare. I am from Scotland and I have a HND, and I cannot seem to find a website that recognizes the qualification.
You'd be fine. I know I'm British. You're fine. You'd be absolutely fine. You can go through this. You can go through the system. Yeah, you would be absolutely fine. Welcome from Scotland. Yeah. We can make that work with that one.
Okay, here's another one. Can graduate students complete internships as well?
Yes, right. The internships is something we've only just introduced, literally in the last few weeks. and that was our board members. They brought it up. Somebody, like I said, somebody is head of production at Jim Henson, and she said, I'll take 2 graduates a year. And someone from Universal said the same. So if you're a graduate, but you have to interview for it. I mean, not everybody's, it's not a given. It's something you have to earn. And we're so proud of Alex Caron has just done it. He went through the system, he interviewed, and they said, yeah, we'll definitely take this guy. They're going to do their due diligence as well. You
know? Keith, what if I have headshots as requested in the application, but they are pretty dated? Would that be an issue?
1924.
You know, if they're in black and white and you're holding the last dodo or anything, you might want to get that updated. But you know, we understand that you're not a professional yet while else go to school. So if you're a little bit out of date, that's fine. You don't want to look too dissimilar, but again, that's not our biggest concern. Our biggest concern is, are you willing to do this? Do you want to put the work in? Is this what you're going to dedicate yourself to?
We do actually offer headshots when you're in the final term, because the final term really is about showcasing, which Alex teaches. And we make sure that everybody has a decent headshot. You leave TOA with a demo reel. You leave with a motion capture demo reel as well. And you have headshots, and you do a showcase, and you do the comedy store. We're trying to help you out to be employable. And
David, can I just say a couple of things about the showcase that I think are worth mentioning, because they have something to do with the questions being asked. You do in your 6th term, you have the showcase class, and during that class, we prepare you for a showcase to which we invite agents and managers. You know, we're doing one right now that is going to be done remotely, but still reaching every agent and manager in Los Angeles. But during that 6th term, in addition to the showcase class, you have a class called Industry Prep. And in that class, we go into great details about how to jumpstart your career, how to cultivate the relationships you're looking for, whether it be with agents, managers, casting directors, filmmakers, producers. But if you are looking for an internship when you leave the school, that would be the class where you would talk to your instructor about that plan. And we always ensure that our students have the tools needed to cultivate their own relationships and not rely solely on the school. So if an internship or representation is what you're looking for, all you have to do is ask your instructor questions about that, and you will be pointed in the right direction toward the end of your academic career here at TOA.
So there's a question I can see about the do you offer shorter courses? We are about to launch a series of workshops in December for 1 week only. We're gonna do this in the break, every break. It'll be 1 week, so you'll get a taste of what we're doing. Where Henry will be teaching a class, I'll be teaching a class, and we'll be teaching an on-camera class as well. So we are going to launch that. Please follow us on social media. Check into our website at TOA all the time, and we will make announcements. Thanks to John here, who works with us. He's making announcements all the time. Like I said, I would encourage you to apply today. It's not going to cost you anything. And if you get in, you are going to get a little bit of help as a thank you for attending today.
Yeah. One of the questions that it says, what happens if I don't have any English proficiency test and I want to apply? You can still apply. We do offer TOEFL, IELTS, or even Duolingo as one of the tests. And most of those exams right now are being done virtually. Unless you're in China, then TOEFL doesn't work, but every part of the world it does. But you know, when Keith and Juan reach out to you guys about the scholarship and everything, we'll add that information also, so that way you can do your research. But there's a lot of students that have applied first and then taken the Duolingo test, and the Duolingo normally takes about 48 hours, I think 48 to 72 hours to get your results back. So that's one of the fastest process to do instead of TOEFL.
Great, wonderful. All right, do we have any more questions before we let everyone go into the ether?
I think the other one is, what if you are 14 and want to be an actor?
14, you want to be an actor, we look forward to seeing you in 4 years' time at Theatre of Arts. You know, keep in touch, keep going. We don't offer courses for people of that age. There are places where you can do that, but I would say if you're 14, I cannot wait to see you in 3 or 4 years' time when you come and audition for us.
And the last one, it says, do you have any full fund admissions program? We do not have any full ride scholarships, but that's where federal funding, partial scholarships, every student scenario is different. And that's where Keith and Juan will be able to address your situation and find out what's going to be best for your situation. But we will follow up with all of you guys and any answers, any questions that we forgot to answer today.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you. Well, thanks, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it. I hope I get to meet some of you. And thank you for all the staff that turned up to meet you today and have a chat. Really appreciate it.
All right, guys. All right. Thank you very much for attending. Please stay safe. And hopefully we get to see you as early as January or not in the 2021 year. Have a good one. And thank you for joining us.
Take care.